Steve Hayes back in St. Louis, senior writer, Weekly Standard, Fox News contributor. Steve, good morning to you.
Morning, Bill.
She used that line at the convention, I believe, in Philly. She used it in debate number 1 in Hofstra last week and again last night. Here's how I scored it. She got under his skin early in debate number 1. He did the same to her last night. What did you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think she was not nearly as polished in this debate as she had been at the debate in Hofstra, and Trump was better, particularly in the end of the debate. Having said that, I think if you look at the sort of the big takeaway from this debate, it did two things. One, it ensured, I think, that Republicans who were thinking about bailing on the Trump-Pence ticket or trying to push Donald Trump off of that ticket will sort of freeze, will hold their fire at this point. Two, Donald Trump, by denying directly that he had done these things that he's been accused of doing or that he boasted about doing in that tape, ensures that journalists are going to look for people who have made those accusations. And we know that there have been at least 2 women anonymously who have made those accusations. One in the New York Times in May, and then one, Erin Burnett of CNN, read an email from one on Friday night. I think we're likely to see more investigation into those claims.
Okay, on that point, Anderson Cooper asked him about that specifically. Just want to listen to that clip here.
Sure.
Are you saying that what you said on that bus 11 years ago, that you did not actually kiss women without consent or grope women without consent?
I have great respect for women. Nobody has more respect for women than I do.
So for the record, you're saying you never did that?
I said things that, frankly, you hear these things are said, and I was embarrassed by it, but I have tremendous respect for women.
Have you ever done those things?
Women have respect for me, and I will tell you, no, I have not.
That's the point right there that you were making, Steve. And we'll see. You know, Pence is the go-between with Congress, and he was on last hour with our friends at Fox and Friends, and he pretty much said that Trump had his back up against the wall and was able to crawl out of a hole. And Pence seems to be back on board. It was my sense that she played it safe last night, and it reminded me of Mitt Romney 4 years ago in debate number 2, when he came out so strong in debate number 1, then backed off in 2 and 3.
Yeah, you know, I think she came into this debate thinking that Donald Trump would implode, thinking that he was going to have to answer these things, thinking that he would lose his cool, and none of those assumptions on her part came true. Now, I think, you know, he's invited further questions. Some of his policy answers certainly weren't up to snuff, in my view, but she didn't have the kind of night that she did in the first debate. I mean, she wasn't nearly as fluid. She stumbled over some of her lines. She didn't know where she was going. Her responses on the email questions, a couple of them were flat out false, things that she claimed that just were not true. So I think she's going to have some things to answer for.